I'm not certain if, well, is my mic working? Oh, it is, because it had a red light instead of a green light. Usually it's a green light. Oh, it's June. So welcome, everybody. It's summer in Nashville, and the traffic is sharing that notice with all of us. So here we are. So first, if I could do a roll call, Jessica Dobbin.
Present.
Walter Searcy. Our Vice Chair, Janet Miller.
I'm here.
And Gail Carr-Williams, present. I'm going to defer the approval of the May 25th board minutes and to the July board meeting, as noted in our book. And at this time, I will open the floor for any public comments. I don't have any notices of a public comment. Are there any public comments? Anyone wishing to make a public comment? Anyone wishing? Seeing no one standing up to the podium, the public comment section of our agenda is closed. Next on our agenda are the information-only items. Would any board member like any of the information-only items pulled out for discussion? No. Hearing no request, I would just, as I always do, ask you all to take the time and read those reports and thank the staff for the detailed reports submitted. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda items. Does anyone want any of the consent agenda items pulled out for further discussion? Hearing none, then I would ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
So moved. Janet Miller.
I have a motion. If I can have a second. Second by Mr. Searcy, motion by Ms. Miller. So any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is a unanimous vote. Thank you all very much. And next, I will turn this over to you, Mr. Searcy, for the Operations and Finance Committee meeting.
Well, and then I'm going to dance past that referral and ask Mr. Malone to come to the microphone and do his impersonation of of Miss Shelley and give us an overview of the liability insurance renewal.
Thank you, Chair Searcy. Members of the board, good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. We're coming to you regarding our WeGo liability insurance renewal. I'm standing in for Ed Oliphant. He is out on vacation this week. As noted here, it's that time of the year again to renew our insurance. And so we're renewing our MTA $3 million liability policy with a $100,000 deductible per occurrence. This year, for the first year, we utilize R.J. Gallagher as our broker. As you may remember, back in March, we went out to bid for our broker services, and Gallagher, out of a pool of about 6, actually won that solicitation. With that, our incumbent carrier, RL Insurance, and one from Chubb Insurance were the consistent on the standard of our $3 million coverage and a $100,000 deductible. We did have one other group that bidded, but we looked at that as a, as an opportunity to try to get some additional coverages here. But as you can see, a liability coverage on our transit bus, transit van, and service vehicles all reduced in price. And so our premiums was a significant reduction, about 43.5%. Compared to last year. That's a big reduction. A lot of that was really due to the fact that in past occasions, we probably didn't use a larger universe to look at different other carriers out there. So R.J. Gallagher has a wider universe of insurance providers out there. So I want to thank our procurement department, Denise's group, also to Nick and his team as well as Ed Oliphant, his group, and the rest of my team as well, that were involved in that selection process. We did a pretty staunch risk management review, and Gallagher has already shown some favorable results. Our recommendation today is based upon us explaining this. We would like to have the board to authorize our chief executive officer to enter into a contract with Chubb Insurance for our liability coverage for the period of July 2023 through June 30th, 2024, for $3 million in coverage with a $100,000 deductible for a premium of approximately $900,000. If there are any other questions, I'll open it up to the board.
Queries?
So RJ Gallagher is our broker, and these were just the only two that came in, the RLI, who we currently have, and Chubb, right?
And then Gemini Insurance came in as well.
Okay.
And that's the other one that quoted. Their
But they-
quote had a $250,000 deductible.
But we're not considering that one
Didn't
because of that
consider
high deductible.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay, I just want to make certain I understood that.
That's correct.
I just have a comment, which it shows you that it's valuable to get a really great, strong, deep, wide insurance broker, doesn't it? I mean, that's
It does.
stunning, the difference.
Big
Yes,
difference.
43% is, I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall.
Some weird clause.
Well, Ed and I, we talked a little bit about this going in. I think a few years ago, even before I was here, I think when we looked at other insurance, even on the RTA side, we saw a significant reduction there as well when they moved over to this broker as well. So,
Just queries, comments.
Great work. Great work and looking into detail and using a different broker. Yeah.
thank you.
Well, hearing the comments and praying that this is not an illusion.
Well, I will say this, Chair Cersei, we were shocked as well. I want to thank Monica for getting it in the packet to last minute as well, because we had to get that in because we were like, what? Because we really went back to make sure these numbers were correct.
I mean, that's a $600,000 savings right there, which is
Right.
great. So, okay.
Absolutely. Well, the committee hears the recommendation and supports the recommendation and passes it to the board.
Thank you so much, Mr. Searcy. Hearing it is a recommendation from the committee, is there a motion for approval of the staff recommendation?
Move to approve the staff recommendation.
And can I have a second, please?
Second.
Second, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have new insurance.
Thank you,
And
board.
less expensive insurance. That's always a good thing.
Always a good thing. Thank y'all.
Thank the teams.
End of season sale.
That's it. And just sale. We'll go with that. Anything else, Mr. Searcy, from the Operations and Finance Committee?
No, but unless Amazon quotes us new insurance premiums, I think we're all right.
I don't even think Prime gives you that.
All right. That's it. Madam Chairperson, you now have the gavel.
Thank you, Mr. Searcy. Ms. Miller?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So on the New Initiatives and Community Engagement Committee, we've got two actions to take regarding the Nestor facility. And the first is the Nestor facility sewer emergency remediation action. So Patrick Hester, if you want to join us. I never like seeing the word emergency in a sentence, so we're anxious to hear what you have to say.
Absolutely. And we'll make you more comfortable with that with this here. So good afternoon, Chair and dear board members.
Good afternoon.
So there are two actions before you today. Both actions are in response to the Nestor Facility Sewer Project. The first action is a request to concur with the CEO's emergency declaration. And in the second action, we're seeking approval for the authorization for the CEO to enter into a contract. As you all are aware, our engineering staff has been working on a long-term solution for the 48-inch failing sewer that's at Nestor. But on September the 7th of 2022, we lost our sanitary sewer due to the expansion of the sinkhole. Now, the expansion contributed to additional safety risk that included the forthcoming collapse of the possible expanded area, which could have closed down travel lanes for buses and also reduced parking at Nestor. Temporary actions were put in place to keep us functioning, and simultaneously our engineering staff came up with a short-term strategy to address the current conditions and also reinforce total design of the sewer. So once the CEO authorized the emergency, Denise Richardson, the procurement staff, did a wonderful job of landing LNG construction to complete the east side sewer, which enabled us to redirect the upstream sewer to Nestor Street, and also Keller to perform the stabilization of the Nestor sinkhole. The stabilization of the sinkhole allowed us to maintain performance of the Nestor site, and all goals were achieved. As safety risks were mitigated, we maintained operations, and we were able to align sewer design. As I said, the full mission was achieved with emergency, and with that said, the staff requests the board to concur with item number MA 23016 on the emergency request.
Thank you very much. Are there questions for Patrick? Every facilities manager hates the word sinkhole. I promise you that.
Really?
Well, sinkhole and sewer together.
Yeah, no
Yes.
kidding. Yeah,
Really?
That's never good.
yeah. Any
Is this-
questions?
Is this a new sinkhole, or is it never mind.
No, ma'am. It's not new.
It's the one that
Yeah.
seems to never,
Yeah, never go away.
yeah.
Yes, that's right.
The song that never ends. What was that? TV show?
I mean, it appears to me that you all acted quickly and efficiently and kept the parking from falling in, so
Thank you.
that's great.
We did. It was immediate action
Yeah,
within 48 hours.
yeah. Any other questions, comments?
No.
Okay, so that being said, the NICE committee then will make a recommendation to the board to concur in the CEO's emergency declaration and the subsequent actions that were taken to remediate the conditions.
So there is a motion, if there is a second?
Just unreadiness. We've already paid for these services, is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. Unreadiness is done.
Second.
So there's a motion, there's a second. Is there any further discussion? Any further questions, comments?
With the remediation and restructuring of the sewer and the stabilization of the sinkhole, is there an anticipated further sinkhole, or that's just, crystal ball talk?
The stabilization of the sinkhole was to maintain operations. There are still a couple more phases to go, which involves us doing the west side sewer connection. Next will be Metro Water abandoning the 48-inch failing line, and then finally will be us completing the pavement work.
Brilliant. But the Nestor site is still in good working condition and operable?
It's operable at the moment.
Excellent.
But to Patrick's point, there's still some risk of expanding the sinkhole until we actually get that subsurface condition corrected.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None. The motion carries, and thank you for being ready and prepared to manage the situation when it occurred. Good job.
Great. Now we have part two, which is we need to now replace the 48-inch sewer line, right? So tell us about that. That is our next board action item.
We're getting there. So in continuance.
One step at a time, right?
In continuance of the overall design and long-term strategy, we have item number MA 23017, which we are seeking approval on. The Nestor West Side Sewer connection is a critical path in the sinkhole repair. The connection of the west side removes us from the service on the 48-inch main, which is the source of the sinkhole disruption. Removal of the service allows Metro Water to perform their abandonment. The abandonment qualifies us to complete the sinkhole repair. So the Nestor West Side connection followed our normal engineering procedures and standard procurement solicitation guidelines. The bid winner is BC Mason Group, who is DBE certified. They have done similar work in the past and have performed other projects for us in the past. In recognition of the critical path to get the work done, the staff requests the board to authorize the chief executive officer to enter a contract with BC Mason Group in the amount of $355,318.51 with a 20% contingency for a total project budget of $426,382.51.
Okay, great questions.
Yes. Again, it's remarkable that their bid is so much less than the other three offerers. Does that cause you any discomfort?
We did. It did cause some discomfort at first. So Denise Richardson and I had them verify their bid, line item by line item, came back clear. And it turns out that they bid per the design and the work to be done, and is all appropriate.
Something else, isn't it?
I think we'd probably be more concerned if we haven't had any experience with this contractor, but we've done several projects and they've really been exemplary, so.
Great.
But I had Walter Grapevines think alike. That was my original question.
Yeah, right. How big is this sinkhole? Just curious.
Right now, it's taken up 3.5 bus lanes.
Wow.
Prob-
That's a big
Probably
sinkhole.
about 60 feet. 60 feet
You don't
across.
fool around, do you, Patrick? Okay, other questions for Patrick or comments? Okay, Madam Chair, then the NICE Committee would make a motion that we authorize the CEO to enter a contract with BCMG LLC, which is the BC Mason Group, in the amount of $355,318.51, duration of 180 days. And then with the unknowns, we are authorizing also a contingency of 20% for a total project budget of $426,382.51. And funding for the project is provided through the annual State of Annual Facilities State of Good Repair Capital Program. So that is a motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Ms. Miller. Ms. Miller has a motion. If we can have a second?
Second.
There is a
Ms. Miller's
second.
motion, yeah.
And is there any further discussion, questions, thoughts?
Well,
Hearing.
just one query. Who are the principals in BC?
It's Brandon Mason.
Brandon Mason. Local?
Local.
Contractor?
Yes, sir.
Anything else? So I hear motion second, no further discussion, so I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you,
There
board.
you go. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Hester. Great work.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Batting 1,000 a day.
Okay, Madam Chair, that concludes
That
the New
concludes-
Initiatives and Community Engagement Committee report.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that, Ms. Miller. Moving along today.
Yeah.
Mr. Bland, CEO report time.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good afternoon, members. Apologize for being late, but it sounds like things went just fine without me, right? Okay, good.
It's done.
Margaret would have given me the evil eye if it hadn't, I suppose. So I usually like to end the meeting with good news in my report, but this time I'm going to start with really good news. And I did make you all aware of the other night, Metro Council passed its budget. And I think for WeGo and its riders, the news couldn't have been much more positive. We knew that the mayor's proposal was really solid going into the process. He had proposed funding our full baseline request. We had, in addition, had requested about $5.4 million in investment funding for service expansion under the Better Bus program. He was able to propose 2.6 of that 5.4. And in addition, he proposed $15 million out of one-time surplus funds to apply toward our Murfreesboro Pike project for project development. When we got through the council process, there was significant interest by the council members to build out on the Better Bus program, so there was an effort to increase funding toward that. And at the end of the day, through a couple of amendments, we ended up with a full $5.4 million. So when we come back to you in July, we'll be recommending the first phase of that expansion to kick in October, and then we'll be coming to you around the first of the year for the second phase to kick in the spring in conjunction with the opening of the Ernest Rip Patton Jr. North Nashville Transit Center. So the amendment that came through sort of indirectly because of the source of the funding. Eventually, the funding for Murfreesboro Pike was backed down by that same $2.8 million. And I know I got questions from individual council members of the impact it has on the project, and really nothing material because, frankly, it's going to take us several years to do all of those efforts anyway. And the 12.2 that's left will combine with $2 million that we already have in hand. So we'll be able to do a very robust program there. Another amendment that went through was just a pure increase that was spearheaded and encouraged by Councilmember Rosenberg, an additional about $300,000. So we will be able to extend one of the routes out to the new James Lawson High School when school starts in the fall. So specifically, obviously, we want to thank Mayor Cooper and his staff, Finance Director Kelly Flannery and her staff. Probably had a lot more exchange on this, than we typically do, and with good result. And especially on council, certainly all 36 members who voted for it, but specifically I wanted to call out to your attention Councilmember Roten, who chairs the Budget and Finance Committee. He did a tremendous amount of work on this. His vice chair, Councilmember Gamble. I mentioned Councilmember Rosenberg on the Lawson piece, and Councilmember Sledge really spearheaded a lot of the conversations and discussion among members to get us the full allocation of the Better Bus funding. So a lot of people to thank and a lot of people to recognize in that effort. And our customers will start seeing it as early as October and going through the rest of the year. I think so. It's a shame Ed isn't here to, So I do apologize for deferring the action on the budget, but I think you'll agree that it was for a good reason. Also, relative to councils and mayors, we held 2 candidate forums this past month for the candidates for Metro Council and mayor. 2 sessions were very well attended. We had 7 of the mayoral candidates come out and 32 of the council candidates come out. And the questions were really great questions. I mean, people are obviously kind of reading up on the issue or certainly have an understanding of the issue. So I really want to thank especially Eric Beyer, who put the program together, got the invitations out. Certainly supported by Vince Malone, Monica House, and Melissa McIntyre for helping to put together that event. Very successful, very well received. And we've had follow-up conversations with several of the council and mayoral candidates with specific questions to follow up. So we know they were reading the material that we sent out. Last week, I was asked to present at a general session at the rail conference of the American Public Transportation Association. It was actually held in Pittsburgh, and the topic was building ridership while addressing community workforce housing needs. And our panel also had senior leadership from the transit agencies in Seattle, Phoenix, and San Antonio, as well as the director of Amazon's Housing Equity Fund. As you know, this is one of the markets that Amazon's participating in to try to get more affordable housing built. And really the session was about the linkages between transit and affordable housing, that you kind of have to have both together to really make it effective, for a working population in a city. I was grateful to hear about a lot of the experiences in the other cities, but frankly, we're doing some pretty cool things here too, and that was widely recognized by the folks in the room. And also by Amazon. One of the slides in my presentation was our frequent network map, the red lines on the map. And the gentleman from Amazon, after I presented, said he stole my thunder because that slide is in my presentation too. So certainly an area of focus for Amazon. We have initiated, speaking of service improvements and Better Bus, we have initiated planning for the fall service changes. Among the changes we have are lengthening of the service day to a 1:15 a.m. lineup on the frequent network, Monday through Saturday, extending service on the number 6 bus, Lebanon Pike, and the 42 St. Cecilia Cumberland to 11:15, improving frequency on the number 7 and the number 8 buses, as well as adding some midday and Saturday service to the 75 Midtown, adding Sunday service to the 75 Midtown, and the 77 Thompson Wedgwood, adding 4 new WeGo Link mobility on demand zones in Burton Hills, Rosebank, Brick Church Pike area, and Old Hickory. We'll be going out for public comment, or I think we're out for public comment now, and we'll be coming back to the board in July with a final recommendation for that package of service changes for October. Federal Transit Administration finally completed their triennial review, examining 23 areas of the federal program for compliance. They identified, they had only one finding, which was down from 8 in 2019, so really a terrific job by just about everybody. And I particularly want to call attention to Denise Richardson in procurement and her staff, because that has historically been kind of a sore spot. Frankly, not just for us. It's very atypical for a transit agency not to get a finding in procurement because it's a complex area and there are a lot of little rules to get tripped up on. But Denise's gang came through with flying colors and a perfect score. The one finding we did have was with respect to our drug and alcohol program, really 2 areas. One was updating and upgrading our paperwork, the certifications on the substance abuse professionals, medical review officers, et cetera, of our subcontractors. And the other is we didn't quite hit our random test target rates for drugs and alcohol. So that's something that Nick and the gang are working on, and we will absolutely have our corrective action plan in a timely manner. Now, once they finalize the report, you all will get a copy of their final report. As part of that budget process, we will be adding more shelter maintenance crews to our staff, which is a good thing, because in the interest, keep your hand claps going, because I'm going to call out Lydia Benda specifically. We're up to 285 shelters, and that list continues to grow. I don't know if Denise is here or not, but she's got a lot more. Oh, there you are. You're hiding behind Vince. She's going to have a lot more shelters to clean, fix, et cetera, et cetera. Also, I see Kia in the back of the room. We're continuing at a good pace with the Ernest Rip Patton Jr. North Nashville Transit Center. Slab is down. They're starting masonry. Steel erection should be beginning pretty soon. Still on target for opening in spring of 2024. And also, Renuka and her group have been working with the community to get active engagement in the project and the process. I want to thank our chair, Gail, for participating in the artist selection process with Rachel in procurement. And I think we're going to have a facility that certainly we go, but everyone in the community can be proud of. A few things to report on the RTA side. Hatch Consulting is continuing their work on the STAR Future Vision study. One of the deliverables they've gotten to us to review is their market assessment, which comes up with some interesting conclusions. So as we kind of sift through that, we'll bring you additional information in future months. We're also continuing to work on negotiations for a joint development project at the Donaldson Station with H.G. Hill and Southeast Ventures, so that's going on. We've completed our appraisal processes. So really now it's just sort of doing some schematic layouts of what that site might look like before we get into hardcore discussions about a joint development agreement. And we are advancing land acquisition toward a permanent park and ride location in Murfreesboro. We have a parcel identified. We have a willing property owner. So we're going through the appraisal process on that. And finally, I will conclude with good news. So last Saturday, we held our annual bus and maintenance rodeo at the Myatt facility. And apart from great weather, I think might have been the best, certainly in the years I've been here, best rodeo weather we've ever had. We've had some really miserably hot days and rainy days, but it was nice, it was sunny, and Earl Rhodes and the gang got us done before noon, so it didn't even get very hot. I think we also came away with another very, very competitive team that will be sending Memphis in September to compete against Tennessee's best. And I don't know if Earl's here, but I am expecting Nick for us to bring back the hardware again. So just to let you know who the winners were, on the maintenance side, our first place winner for van maintenance was Winston Francis. Our first place winner for bus maintenance was Troy Willis. In the van operation division, Kevin Sentis won first place. Joyce Banks won second place. Scott Wallace took third place. And then on the bus side, he's a double threat. Kevin Sentis won first place again on the bus side. Jerome Horton took second place, and Scott Wallace took third place. So really congratulations to everyone who participated. We had some of our newer operators participate, so that's a great tradition. We got to start bringing up that young talent up through the pipeline. So I continue to have all of my peers around the state hate my guts after the rodeo concludes every year. So unless there are any questions, Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
I have a question. Where is RTA ridership right now?
Not good like MTA ridership. We are at about, we are hovering in the 35 to 40% of pre-pandemic, yeah. And a big part of what Hatch is looking at, particularly in the market assessment, even though it's specifically directed toward the train, we expect to apply some of those, quote, lessons or that information toward the bus system as well. So, looking at potentially ways of repurposing some of those assets to be a little bit more effective for the region.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. But I just want to say, September, we're winning that rodeo. I like our team.
Is there a national rodeo?
Yep. That would
We
be
need to
next
win
spring.
that.
We got that one too.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think they hate your guts. They're just jealous. They be all right. They just ain't got it like we got it. I love it. I'm so proud of our rodeo team. I think I just think that that's just so great for everybody to sort of be around and enjoy that kind of friendly, good competition. So
Yeah, big family turnout. Really nice day.
well done, well done. So I don't have much in my report, but the budget, how, this is just incredible. And I think it gives us such an opportunity to sort of reach back and go back to our plans and really start bringing them into implementation. So grateful for the mayor's office, grateful for the mayor's leadership, and also for Metro Council, and particularly those who you singled out to sort of get us here. So grateful for all that. I'm also grateful for you, Steve, and for always being there to advocate for what we need and being present and being that leader that lets them know that we need this. And that I think that gave them the impetus to be able to make these kind of decisions. So I just want to acknowledge and appreciate your strong leadership and your strong advocacy. So thank you, Steve. I see Patrick in the back. Hi, Patrick. It's been a while. It's good to see you.
Yeah, there he is.
Hey, okay. And again, listening to all the reports of everyone working hard, catching sinkholes before they become a movie is great news, and good job, and all of the work that everybody's doing. And I can't wait to see what we look like in the fall. We're going to be greater than ever. So thank you, everybody. And that concludes my report, but I will take chair's prerogative. I see Mr. Knight came in, and I had already closed public comments. Mr. Knight, I don't know if you wanted to make a comment today or not. I certainly will reopen public comments if you would. And as you know, we have a 3-minute limitation.
He's grimacing, so.
I know.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Knight.
I'm late today. There was wrong information posted online for the board meeting today, and I went to 211 Athens Way.
I did too, so it's okay. We all make our way, and
So,
sometimes that happens, but it's okay.
I'm just a little bit concerned because I had spoke to other customers who had been having issues, and I have been getting on the customers about coming to this board meeting. And when I spoke to the staff over at the Bankers Association, unfortunately, they alerted me to 5 other customers coming. But they did not tell them that it was here, so they just left. So that concerns me on a deeper level because it makes me feel a way after I pestered these customers to come to this meeting, and then the wrong information was posted. I walked here. I walked from Athens Way at 2:19 p.m. to get here at 3:05. So I know most of the other customers are not going to be as dedicated as I am, but I'm an advocate. So I'm going to say this. There's a lot of issues that's going on that I have wasted my time in certain ways, kind of going left and right and feel like I'm being pulled from this direction to that direction. There's internal issues, bus operators not happy, new and old. There's customer service agents that feel like they're not being paid a certain amount that they really honestly should because they're getting disrespected on a high level. I've asked this board to step up at the last board meeting by meeting with supervision down at Central. I need this board to really honestly, I know that you all advocate for transit. I don't want to add on to any more than what you all have to do, but this is very serious. If we don't start to see our board in places, on buses, when things are happening, you won't have to worry about when a route gets cut or we don't get the correct funding. Because what's going to happen is the ridership is going to drop. And ordinarily, I'm very respectful when it comes to time, but I am in a ticked off mood because this made no sense. I had to call you all's customer service and even they were confused. And they were like, wait a minute, it's 2 different locations. So I'm probably going to go over it, so be it. I don't mean any disrespect by it, but I have a lot to say because this is affirming that every time I've come to this board meeting from 2016 to this point, I keep repeating myself. This staff has gone, person has left, person has come in, and I'm having to re-explain. I'm having to send multiple emails. I'm having to send emails to council. I'm having to send emails to TDOT. I am tired. So if I have reached my level of being tired, I now understand your customers. I now understand your bus operators. I have family. One of them just recently died a few weeks ago. Retired because she was going through personal issues. She had already lost her son. And then she turns around and dies. I don't know how many family members I've lost at this agency in the last 4 or 5 damn years. I'm tired. They have struggled. They have been working very hard. I have literally been at this since 2006. Go ask a person that's running for mayor, Vivian Wilhoit, who was a council member during that time, who pulled funding from this agency for lying about misuse of funds. I do not have any more time or patience. I understand that my time is run short.
Mr. Knight, your time is up, and I
know
gave
the
you grace
time is
to come
up,
back in,
but I'm going to say what I have to say, and I really don't care,
But your
Ms.
time-
Gail, because even you disrespected me last year, and I have kept a great face about it, just as well as Ms. Monica
But your
with her
time is up,
disrespect.
Mr. Knight. You know,
That's perfectly fine, and I'll
it's
just let
okay.
council
But
deal
how
with it.
about-
Have a good day.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Knight. I always appreciate your comments. Thank you very. Okay. All right. So, does anybody else have a public comment since I opened that opportunity again? Well, hearing none, That concludes public comments again. So, based upon that, anybody else got anything else?
Nope. Just, we appreciate you.
Well, with that, we are adjourned, and it is officially summer.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.